All right, we're recording. Welcome to the Mind Your Herbs podcast. I am your host, Malcolm Steele of Big Steel Urban Farms.
And I'm your co-host, Erica Plants of Gardening Under Influence LLC and plantandheal.com, where we teach you how to grow with what you got. Seed company.
So, Erica, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So ready to get this conversation going. How are you, Big Steel?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. So, what you got cooking in the pot?
Oh, what I got cooking in the pot, I got all kinds of stuff in this pot right now. One of the top ones are the flowers of my bolted brassicas, my collards and kohlrabi and all, but also my collards that are 2 years strong and still thriving, and a few other things like some bitter lettuce for soups and carrots. What you got going on over there?
I got a little bit of everything going on. I just grab stuff and put it in the pot. I love my vegetarian chili, but it wasn't so vegetarian this time. But I still had my vegetables in it. I was craving andouille sausage, so I dropped some of that in it with the vegetables and everything. So I got a still got a good balance. And don't judge me. All right, 80% plant based. I'm working. All right, I'm working on judgment.
Definitely,
hmm
definitely. You said andouille sausage in your chili, your vegetarian chili. So
hmm
it's not so vegetarian. What other
No,
things
not
did
so.
you put in there?
I put some on ground chicken up in there too. I was a bad boy yesterday. I was bad. I was a bad boy. I know I'm supposed to be eating better, which I eat good majority of the time. So a little bit of meat ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Definitely. No, little meat in my everything in moderation, right? So
Yep,
definitely. So
definitely.
go ahead.
Yeah.
What else you got growing? What you got cooking? What else did you put in that chili?
I put some cauliflower, jalapeno peppers, shishito peppers, some collard green. I think I put some Swiss chard in there too, and it was something else. What else I put in there? I think that
What
was
else
it.
plant?
But
What else
every but
planting hill seeds?
definitely was planting hill seeds.
Oh,
Everything. Yeah, everything came out the garden that went into that chili except for the andouille sausage and the ground chicken.
okay, bet.
You
That's
know.
what's up.
So, what are you growing for the summer?
What I got growing for the summer. So right now I have peanuts growing. I got my Valencia peanuts. I plant them tomorrow. I have 7 different types of sweet potatoes growing. I have 4 different types of sugar cane growing, including the historically black since 1890s farmers sugar cane from this region, some
Mm.
Hawaiian sugar cane, and a few other historical things that are great for this area, as well as my moringa farm. So it's lots
Ooh.
going on this summer, man. Listen,
Ooh.
all the different cucurbits of the plantandheal.com is out in the garden, and they've definitely germinated in like 2 days. And so I can't wait to see them take off.
That is cool. I like all of that. Sound like your place is the place to be.
Yeah, what you got planted? What you got going on this season?
I'm gonna do some watermelon, some okra, and zucchini. I'm trying my hand at zucchini again. Zucchini is so delicate.
It's
The
not.
it's delicate. The lightest little speck of little dirt get on it, and it's infected. The whole plant infected. You got to make sure your soil don't got no type of bacteria in it when you growing that zucchini. I'm telling you, it's delicate. And then after that, after the watermelons and everything, I am going to do
Are you
some
growing your
cover crop.
mangoes this season?
Yeah, but the mangoes are not mangoing, man. I don't know what's going on. The mangoes are not mangoing. I thought it was just my tree. It's a lot. It's majority of the trees. They only have mangoes at the top and no mangoes at the bottom. And last year was a great year, but I think that flood is what helped us have so many mangoes. Last year the flood we had, but did not this year. So after this mango season, I'm gonna do some extra stuff to tidy up the mango tree. I'm gonna dig a hole and put a PVC pipe down in it to make sure it's getting ate. I mean, make sure it's eating. And I'm a flood it maybe once a month. I'm just gonna put the water hose back there and just let it flood
Okay.
once a month to make sure that I'm gonna have some good mango, because and that's one of the reasons why I didn't take no pre-sales, because I wanted to wait to see what the blooms were gonna be looking like. Which the blooms they bloom beautifully, but then not a lot of mangoes. I don't know
Was
what's
your
going on.
pollinators showing up to the yard?
I got pollinators that come in and out, so I don't. I think it's something. I think it's definitely something related to the ecosystem.
Yeah, it's
Just can't.
definitely likely that, especially if it's dry. So I totally dig that. Don't you have papayas though and bananas?
Oh yeah, I got papayas. I got bananas. Going to. I don't know if I'm gonna sell my bananas. I think I want to do some experimenting with making some banana wraps and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm gonna sell them. I'm up in the air about selling them, but the papayas are definitely getting sold when they get ready.
Okay.
Definitely getting sold. Mhm.
Okay, I can
So,
dig it.
so what markets are you trying to expand into?
Okay, so the markets I'm currently expanding into is like I'm working on the LAMP grant, which is through the USDA, where we can set up for a farmers market or a USDA. I think there's feedback. Um, but for that, what I'm working on is a black farmers market where we can set that up for our area. I'm in a food desert.
Mm,
So that is one of the goals. I am expanding more so into horticulture. I am doing edible landscaping currently, and also working on getting into more of the senior citizen communities so that I can make it accessible to them. And then also doing a summer camp with the Gullah Geechee Cracked Teeth,
mm,
among others, where I can assist these young people who want to learn how to grow food on starting community gardens, growing their own, and empower themselves with a freedom in a different kind of way.
mm.
How about
Amazing.
yourself?
I love all that. I am trying to expand into the mushroom market and the microgreen market. Those are two markets I'm trying to expand into. Trying to figure out the oyster mushroom process. In the beginning, it's a little difficult till you figure out all the kinks and everything. So
Definitely.
unfortunately, I must have did something wrong because my mushrooms did not inoculate. So I got to go back to the drawing board on those and see where
Okay.
I mess
I'm
up
working
at.
on them too, but I'm working
Mm,
on them with logs. I'm drilling holes in logs and sealing them with beeswax, and I'm
mm,
putting them in the shade. My property has shifted a little,
mm,
and so because it's shifted and the sun has shifted as well,
mm.
it's time to go back to the drawing board as well. So time will
Yeah,
tell what we got going on.
definitely. Well, I'm also getting into worm farming also because I want to do the worm farming.
Vermicomposting.
Yeah, that great nutrients for the garden, and I have another product I can sell worms for people that like to go fishing and stuff like that. So that's
Hey,
what I'm gonna get into. Mhm.
well, I'm here for that.
So the topic of the day, make sure I'm saying this right. Heirloom. Did I say it right?
Boy, you
Heirloom.
so country. Absolutely, Papa. You so
Eh,
country, but definitely
mm,
heirlooms is definitely the topic.
so we have our seed specialist, Plant Hill. She gonna tell us about these heirlooms. So can you tell the
Okay.
people what are heirlooms and how are they different from other types of fruits and vegetables?
Okay, so heirlooms are basically a fruit and vegetable, right? But
Mm,
it's almost like when you first got a child weenie before it makes a pedigree or any other new dog, it
mm,
is first a hybrid. All heirlooms started off as a hybrid 9 times out of 10. There are a
mm,
few heirlooms out here that are originals, like, your citron, your mandarin. Like when you think about all the different citrus plants, there's only
mm,
three that were the originals, and that was the pomelo, the mandarin, and the citron. The pomelo
mm,
looks like your grapefruit. The mandarin, for the sweetness. Your citron is the citrus, it's the bitter part. And then from all those, we get those thousands of different ones. But at the same time, an heirloom though is just basically a stabilized hybrid 9 times out of 10. Because
mm,
before the beautiful origination of agriculture, people say the best thing ever invented was sliced bread. It was actually agriculture. It allowed us to
definitely.
stop being hunters and gatherers It allowed us time to grow food in one stationary place and also to then develop culture and language, religion, and all. And don't get me wrong, some of that's been toxic to us and an invasive issue in itself. But
Mm,
overall, these people were onto something 10,000 years ago. So your heirloom is basically a fruit or vegetable that has been growing for at least 50 years. And they know from generation to generation that when those seed drops, they will look the exact same. So it's open pollinated
mm,
and very consistent. It's usually built around a culture, a region, or area. It's got a great story and all. But that's what makes it an heirloom. It has to be at least 50 years of stable growing.
wow. Now, with all that being said, because there's a lot of misconception about hybrids, and people think hybrids and GMOs the same thing. You know, hybrids are not what y'all think they are. They're actually good. And if it wasn't for that, your banana would have a million seeds in it. You know, you'll be breaking your teeth trying to eat a banana. You know, a lot of people, big misconception about the hybrids.
Yeah, even if you didn't break your teeth, you would just be full of seeds. And we know some
Mm,
bananas, like the pink one, that is full of seeds. It's just not as enjoyable. And I know they'll tell you that seedless fruit are bad, but I'm telling you that you eat that banana with no issue. I'm telling you that you like that cucumber more that first day or two after it matures versus a week later when it's super seedy. All of that
mm,
matters. So, yeah.
definitely. So, how are heirloom seeds and plants preserved and passed down through generations?
I mean, they're preserved the same way as everything else. It's through pollination. Many times it is through keeping it in a specific area where nothing else can cross pollinate with it, where nothing else can wind pollinate with it, where the insects will not be showing up from from the next door with a different kind of pollen on their tail to mix it up together. But that is how you save them. You can dry them, you preserve them, but usually it's an intentional process for you to make
Mm,
heirlooms. And that's dedication because, again, that's 50 years.
yeah,
So I'm working on some heirlooms now, and I'm talking to my son and instilling in him that if I stabilize these jokers, I need you to keep them going even after I'm gone, just in case, so that they can be
definitely.
historically black heirlooms, kind of like your fish pepper is.
Question: have you thought about creating your own heirloom seeds for PlantandHeal.com?
I
And what would
have,
you
but
create?
again, it's 50 years in the making for that to occur.
Mm,
And so right now I'm doing all that stuff because, I am a George Washington Carver and a Booker T. Watley fan. For those reasons, knowing Booker T. Watley created so many sweet potatoes, so many watermelon and things of that nature. Maybe not watermelon, I forget what it was. But because of that, I definitely do want to do that. When I think about like fish peppers, and when I think about certain melons that I know grow in heirloom in Texas and Louisiana, I definitely want to get in on that. And I want to get in on it in the point where we get the credit that we deserve. So yeah, it's something that is in the works for me.
I love it.
How about
So,
yourself?
you know, I would not mind, like, you know, I would not mind taking, like, creating a hybrid lettuce that can grow through the whole year. I'm talking about from January to December if it's possible. I would not like I would cross it with Jericho lettuce, and maybe I'm trying to think of another one that's heat
Maybe
tolerant.
Paris Island out of
Yeah, Paris Island, and maybe we'll keep you know going until we get that one seed that can withstand the most heat and last long. I think it's a possibility that it can be done. And
Oh no, it's definitely possible. I have a
mm,
light green one called all year.
mm,
It grows from March through October, even in the heat, and it's pretty bolt resistant and it's green. But
mm,
most of the ones that I have that are more bolt resistant are reds, or they got red in them, like my freckle style, because they have the melanin. That
mm,
melanin, just like us, even if it's chlorophyll or something else, is actually called allomelanin in plants. This prevent them
mm.
bolting. Um, it's definitely an asset, but there
Just taught me
has been
something
some
new.
that's created. Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that part. Okay, What are some examples of popular heirloom fruits and vegetables?
Popular ones would be like your Georgia Southern collard, of course. We call it
Hmm.
also the Creole. You would think of your okra. When you think of your okra, there are specific types. Why am I drawing a blank right now? There's certain okra that have been around for years and years. Perkins, I want to say, is an heirloom.
Mm,
Um, there's tons of those. When you think of their heirlooms, you want to think of your brandywine tomatoes. The brandywine tomato is an heirloom. You think of your moon and star watermelon. Those are heirlooms. Watermelon. All of those are
mm,
available from plantandhill.com. We sell lots of heirlooms, but you just want to think of those ones that your grandma grew too. That's what it boils down to. There's certain ones that have kept going. I want to say the Paris Island lettuce actually is one of those. It is a
mm,
romaine, but it is able and built to withstand the heat because of where it's been acclimated. Where you grow your seeds and then you save your seeds allows it from generation to generation to acclimate to that climate, to that soil, to that sun, to that heat, and it makes it withstandable.
mm. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize like how much in common that we have with plants and everything, because they can adjust the environments just like we can. People
Hmm.
people don't realize that part.
Definitely.
Okay, so what is the significance of heirloom varieties in agriculture and food culture?
So heirloom significance is for tastes, for culture, for history, but it also gives you those stabilized ones before you get into the hybrid. And so there might be traits from those heirlooms that you want to put into the hybrid, but you want it to withstand a certain disease. You want it to withstand a certain climate. You want it to withstand a certain insect that is known in that area without it being genetically modified with extra things added to it that are not of that plant originally or
Mm,
that plant family. And so it is very important, but that is the significance. When you realize that money grows on trees and food grows on trees and seeds are important, then you'll get people like Monsanto, aka current day Bayer, who owns like 30% of the seeds in the world, who've killed out
facts.
like 90% of the seeds across this world.
Facts.
But at the same time, they got certain staples because if I know it works good, I'm gonna still do it. So that was like consider McDonald's selling salads. Because at the end
Hmm.
of the day, I want to serve everybody. It's like think Miracle Grow now having an organic line. Before they were focused on chemicals. So the heirlooms do serve a purpose, but it also allows for a seed bank that is stabilized and we know that it's consistent to know what we want to mix with the next one. So again, I will use your pedigrees of your animals. So if I have, let's say, I got a Pom Chi, a Chihuahua, and a Pomeranian. It took so long for it to be stabilized before they're a specific size, a specific colors, a specific coat, and know that they are truly heirloom, aka pedigree vegetables or animals. It's the same thing. So that's what the benefit is. Just knowing that it's a stable, consistent animal or seed before you go any further.
Definitely, man. Yeah, this woman here is phenomenal. All right, seed specialist, genetic specialist, phenomenal woman. All right, hey, all right. So now we're gonna get into talking about the green spaces. All right, so why are green spaces important?
Why do you think green spaces are important?
Um, well, for one, green spaces are important because they help us with our health. They help us with the oxygen. They help with the heat. You know, a lot of urban areas do not have green spaces, and I think we're getting to a point where they're starting to realize they have to change that, because in most of the urban areas, that's where all the heat come from. That's why you have your zones changing. Didn't all the zones change this past
Like
year?
90% of the zones change because of
Mhm.
development, asphalt, lack of green spaces, development, new subdivisions growing up, trees being cut down. Your rain doesn't know where to let down at if
Yeah.
there's no cool spaces. Rain knows to drop in a cool space. But if you've cut down all of that and it's nothing but heat, It's almost like even Mother Nature knows that that's not somewhere I'm gonna rain on the same way because
Mhm.
it's too hot right there.
Yeah. Do you I don't know, but you ever notice like in the summertime when it's hot and muggy and you see the heat coming off the asphalt on the road, it be so that's not a normal thing. Like we're literally in the oven. Like
We're
we're
definitely in the
literally.
oven. You know, and I grew up in Texas, so we always joke that you could cook an egg on the asphalt, but it's
Mm,
legitimately true. And when you think of about places like Houston, Texas, with the spaghetti loop and the junctions and all the roads and the large population that it is in that
mm,
one county, it is the epitome of a heat space. When I started growing, I was living in Seattle. Well, I just moved from Seattle, Washington area. It was a zone 8B. And when I moved
mm,
to Savannah, Georgia, it was a zone 8B. When I looked at Houston, Texas, it was a zone 8B, or it had been in 1995. Now, when I
mm.
get online and I'm teaching and educating, people will be in Houston, Texas and tell me that it's a zone 10B. How the hell
Yeah, that's
in
crazy.
30 years did y'all evolve that much that you would jump two zones? Your frost
Mm,
wouldn't be the same, your cold wouldn't be the same, and your weather in the summer wouldn't be the same. It's because they're steady clearing out all those green spaces, all those wetlands, all those regions, and you're also building all that asphalt for roads for people to go
mm.
through and travel through that is becoming hot pockets. The green space matters. It also allows for biodiversity, it allows for
Yes.
pollinators. When's the last time you saw a lightning bug?
Woo. Boy, I'm telling you, man. The last time I seen lightning bugs, I was a freshman in college in
You were in
'05.
Mississippi though,
I
weren't
was in
you?
Mississippi. That's the last time I
You weren't
seen
in
lightning
Florida.
bugs. I
When was
was
the
not in
last time you
Florida.
saw one in Florida, in South Florida?
Ooh, I think I was a little kid, and I'm talking about like maybe 6 or 7 years old. I
Right?
haven't
We
seen
used
them in
to
a
get
long
bugs
time.
in a
It's just
long,
like,
long time.
yeah, you don't see. I don't see a lot of blue jays anymore. You don't see bugs when you driving on the highway like you used to no more. It's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff that's
you
missing.
don't get them on your car. I drive back and forth between South Georgia and South Florida regularly. And if
Hmm.
you think that I would get the same kind of bugs that I used to get even 5, 10 years ago,
Hmm.
it's not the same.
Yeah.
Love bugs. It's love bug season. We're going to the love
I
bug
haven't
season.
seen one of them in a long time. I haven't seen a love bug in a long time. I'm talking about. I want to say I haven't seen a love bug since maybe 2007 or 2008. I haven't seen
And
them.
listen, they will tell you, all the rumors will say that Florida genetically created the love bug. But how did Florida create it? It's missing. It's not even here. It hasn't been here since COVID. And the gag was that year when it was COVID, I realized that they were missing, it was during the government shutdown.
Mm,
It was during the government shutdown, and I was like, "Oh, we about to be impacted with them," because in 2019, when I first started farming, I definitely was bombarded with them. They were on my pepper plants, they were on my yellow house, they were on my white picket fence. Then they told me that they were attracted to asphalt because I was researching what the hell they was at my house. And came 2020, they didn't show up, and I really ain't seen them since. The same thing with armadillos. And we can act what we want to act, but these are signs. These are
yeah,
signs. I did find lightning bugs last year in Savannah, and that made my day. But that's because Savannah is very intentional on green spaces and leaving certain things growing.
yeah. Well, the like here we have the green spaces here in Fort Lauderdale, but they're not so much in the urban area. They're further out west in Davie and places like that. And
But that's not really urban, so we need more in the urban
yeah, we
areas.
need it. We definitely need it in the urban areas. It's very important.
Absolutely.
Because it's so much with the heat, the cars, and it's just a whole lot. And like we as people have to come together and work on fixing this. Like it's not one person's job; it's everybody's job. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's because I want my grandkids and stuff to be able to play. I don't want them to say they can't play because it's 200 degrees outside. you
Yeah.
know,
More than that, where are the birds? I used to watch the birds migrate south.
mm,
Now when
not
I
no
see the
more.
birds migrate, it's like 20 birds.
20 birds. It's just a lot of stuff that doesn't change. Just like I don't know what's going on.
So
Um,
definitely, we got to get back to green spaces. We need to focus on that more. Places like Savannah, we got 30 or 40 spots that are earmarked for community gardens. They are FEMA property. They are not FEMA property, but they have them across the city with certain stipulations, and they're happy to build them. But it takes people to want to do that, and hopefully, other communities are also discussing this and giving them the options. And like in Savannah, there's a map. It tells you if it's got water access or not, so on and so
really?
forth. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When
Hmm.
I go and look at opening the community garden, there's like 40 places. Some of them are FEMA. They will also they break down all of that. But when I go and look across the state of Georgia, it's not in the same way. Can I find land banks where they want that to happen and they have properties that are available for it? Absolutely. But it's not in the same energy. But we got to get back to that in the same way we hear people say, oh, well, cities are just planting male plants and we need female plants for the fruit to produce. And they're right. And so we need to get back to that. So green spaces are so important. They allow for biodiversity. They allow for filtration of water. They allow for cleaning of the air. They allow for certain insects to come back. They also allow for serenity, peace, and grounding in a different way. So they're definitely
Oh,
important.
that's a whole nother subject, boy. Hey, people need to hug a tree sometime, you know?
Oh no, they definitely do.
Relieve that stress, hug a tree and relieve that stress.
Definitely.
Well, this concludes our episode. Nice talking to y'all. Uh, you can find Erica Plants Gardener under influence on all social media platforms. Go get yourself some of them seeds, baby. Some of the best genetics in the game. All right.
All right. And Big Steel, the urban farmer, you can also find him at bigsteelurbanfarms.com. You can find him on all platforms, education you on the medicinals, the benefits of them, and how you heal your body while growing food. And also, y'all get with him for his different teas, his different herbs, and pull up for a consult. He is a licensed. Well, go ahead, tell us what you got. What's you
I'm a
certified in? What's your
uh,
degree in?
master's in public health with a concentration in alternative medicine and functional nutrition. And I'm really into this stuff. I was sick at one point in time, and I believe you have to have been a sick person in order to understand how to heal somebody. So
Definitely. That's how I
I
got here, trying to heal people and trying to heal myself.
Mhm.
Definitely. I'm so here for that. Y'all, but get with Big Steel, the urban farm, both on Instagram, especially. He's taking off over there. He has a group called Grow What You Eat. I have a group called Plant and Heal, where we teach you how to grow. There's tons of people to bounce off your ideas, teach you how to grow your food, heal yourself, learn things, and find a community that you need. Because at the end of
Yes,
the day, that's what this is all about. That's what Mind Your Herbs is all about. It's about all aspects of green justice, green growing. It's about healing your body and learning that horticulture and agriculture is way more than what we think it is.
facts. All right. See y'all later.
Y'all later. Bye.